Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a review on the new Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation and concealer. These are new in the drugstore and a lot of people have been talking about it, so of course I wanted to try it out. I'm sure you guys have been hearing a lot about it as well. So for the foundation, it's going to retail for $6 and it has 14 shades in the range. The concealer retails for $4 and it has 6 colors in the range. And you can find these at CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Target, Walmart, any place like that. So it's really good that these are cheap and accessible. Shade range isn't the most amazing thing in the world. If you have a deeper tone of skin, this probably wouldn't be good for you. And for the concealers, if you're fair skinned, this is the lightest shade and it works for me, so I would say the concealer is probably a no-go if you're pretty pale. So first I'm going to talk about the foundation. So this has really nice packaging. It's just so sleek and it's a glass bottle for $6. I think they did really well on the packaging. Personally, I'm not a fan of this spatula thing. I know a lot of people have really been liking that, but personally I don't like, like putting it straight onto my face. It's just not... I'm just not a fan of it, so I put it on the back of my hand, but that's not a huge deal to me, not a deal breaker at all. As for the texture of this foundation, it's very lightweight, which I really like. You can't really feel it on your skin, which is always a plus. It's pretty creamy and lightweight, so overall I really like the texture of the foundation. As for application, I use a beauty blender personally, and I really like the way that it applies. It has like a medium coverage. It is buildable. I would not say that it could be like full coverage or anything like that, so if you have serious redness, acne scarring, stuff like that, I probably wouldn't suggest it, but it does have good medium to buildable coverage. It's so blendable, which I really like. It's not an issue like trying to make it look natural and stuff, because when I first put it on, because it isn't super full coverage, I was just like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this, but then it blended in really seamlessly and I really liked the blendability about that. I don't even know what I'm saying, sorry. So as for finish, I would probably say this has like a satin soft matte kind of finish or whatever. It's not super dewy, it's not flat matte at all. So I think this is really good if you have kind of like if you have combination skin, which is personally what I have. If you have super dry skin, I probably wouldn't suggest this just because I think it might cling to dry patches. Personally, I haven't had any experience with that, but right now it's not super cold where I am. I probably wouldn't suggest it if you have super dry skin. I think this could work if you have pretty oily skin, but if you have extremely oily skin, this might not be for you. If you're like the type that tends to go for like that super matte look, this is not going to give you that. And lastly, just for like the wear time of this, I have been wearing this foundation for 7 hours and I have not touched up and it still looks like this. So personally, I think it looks really good for how long it's been on. The coverage is still there. I'm not super shiny or anything. If you do see a shine, it's just the highlight. There is a little bit of shininess right here, but that's where I tend to get oily with any foundation that I wear. So I am overall a really big fan of this. The only like downside in my opinion, which they're not huge deals, is first, again, this applicator, not a huge fan of it, and also just the shade range I don't think is the best. They have like I said, a decent amount of colors. They have 14, but they're all very close to each other. When I was trying to compare them to one another to see which one I wanted to buy, I couldn't tell much difference between the shades. Overall, I'd say give it a shot. As for the concealer, again, the packaging is really nice. It's sleek and simple, which is personally what I like, and I like that it has a doe foot applicator. That's how I love to apply concealers. As for the texture, this reminds me a lot of the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, which is really weird because this is $4. The NARS is going to be like $30, I believe, so huge price difference. This is really similar, except the NARS one to me is just a little bit more thick. So I'm not a big fan of the NARS Creamy Concealer, which I was really disappointed about. Again, I'm not a giant fan of this, but I do like it a little bit better just because, in my opinion, it is a little bit creamier and not as thick. For the NARS Creamy Concealer as well as this one, I do notice that when I apply it, I can literally see my pores when I apply it, which is never a good thing. Once I blend it out, it's fine and it doesn't accentuate my pores, but it is kind of like just, that I just don't like the really thick consistency. This does have really, like, it has good coverage. It has medium to full coverage, and it blends out well. I didn't have a problem with that or anything, and again, I've been wearing it for 7 hours and the wear looks really good. So I think, again, this is a thing that you should probably try, and especially if you really like the NARS Creamy Concealer or you wanted to try out the NARS Creamy Concealer, get it and see how you feel about it. That is pretty much going to be everything about these two products. I would say, unless you have super dry or super oily skin or you just can't find your shade, you should totally give these a shot. They're really good products, especially for their price. I don't have a lot of complaints about them. I especially like the foundation. Not as big of a fan of the concealer, but you know, different people like different things, and you may love both, you may love neither. But at the end of the day, for both of these, it's $10, so you're not really losing a lot of money by, you know, trying them out. That's gonna be it for this video, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go and give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and subscribe so you can see some more videos. If you have any questions or requests, please leave them down below. I'd love to film whatever you guys want to see, and that's gonna be it, you guys. Bye.